Brody would like to know,
Hey, Brody.
how do you build rapport effectively and timely?
Great question. So, Brody, the first thing to understand is that you're building rapport naturally anyway. Inside of our nervous system, and particularly inside of our brain, there are neurons called mirror neurons. So what you'll find is that if you go into an environment where you're meeting new people, I'm a very fast talker, I'm a very loud talker as well. I take up a lot of the oxygen in the room, so to speak. But if I'm speaking to somebody that's very soft and measured and gentle, I'll probably punch that person. No, I'm only joking. So what will happen is they will naturally become a little bit more grandiose, and I'll naturally tone it down a little bit. Now, I don't do this deliberately, although I've been trained to do this deliberately, of course, but let's say I didn't know anything about rapport. What's important to understand is that when two people come together, providing that there's a bit of a connection there, what will happen is they will start to blend and mirror each other. And you'll see this in relationships, right? So if you've ever seen a couple before and they start to dress the same and look the same, they do it even without organizing their wardrobes, it's just because they start to mirror one another. And there's a deep survival mechanism that's part of this, because if I am like the people that I'm around, I'm less likely to be exiled. And if I'm less likely to be exiled, I've got more likely that I'm going to survive, because it's the sort of herd mentality. So it's important to know it happens naturally for you anyway. However, we have a whole heap of things in our lives, these things particularly, that take us out of connection and presence with people and take us to a whole nother world. And so if you're not present, your brain doesn't have the feedback mechanism to be able to then naturally mirror anyway. And so my biggest suggestion for rapport is just to be present to people. If you genuinely fucking listen, it's amazing how much you can learn about somebody. And, if you're asking the questions, you can control the conversation much clearer than if you're the one answering the questions. I'm a big fan. When I meet new people, I always want to ask questions, because whoever controls the questions controls the conversation, but not in a controlling way. So you get to dictate the tempo of the conversation by doing that, and also gives you tremendous insight to understand how to build a deeper relationship with this person, because you have more information about who they are. So a couple of things tactically, though, as part of that. In rapport, there's a concept what's known as mirroring and matching. And this effectively means, for want of a better word, it's like copying body language. So for example, if I've got my arms crossed and we're having a conversation and you want to build rapport with me, you may also cross your arms as well, right? If, for example, I'm sitting and I've got my legs crossed, and you may want to cross your legs. If I'm standing and I'm slouching to one side, you might want to slouch to one side. If I'm leaning forward, you might lean forward. If I'm leaning back, you might lean back. Now, I want you to appreciate this distinction, because naturally people go, well, I don't want to copy people, I just want to be myself. I'm with you 100%. I don't want you to copy people either. What I want you to do, though, is to be in a position to best lead and influence, and I also want you to be in a position to build the greatest level of relationship. So, for example, when you go to a foreign country, and we're talking about communication here as well, so this is valuable. I'm from England originally, but when you go to a foreign country, you do the best to try and learn the local language. That's out of respect. It's like, I'm going to pay appropriate respect to your customs. I'm not going to just speak in a French accent when I go to France. Ideally, I'd rather try to learn some words in French, or at least learn the words of I don't know how to speak French in French, so I'm being respectful. That's the same approach we want to have here. It's not designed to mock, it's designed to show respect. And so when you're meeting somebody, they're saying, this is the way that I feel comfortable communicating. So to put them most at ease, to be able to create the greatest level of harmony, you would want to mirror that back. And so there's two ways to do it. You can match it, which effectively means that if I've got, if I've got my right hand up, you would have your right hand up, right? If I'm, that's matching, right? If I'm mirroring you, though, if I put my right hand up and you put your left hand up, it would be a mirror reflection or a mirror image of me. That's also important as well. So traditionally, when someone is looking to build the deepest level of rapport, then you would match you would match somebody. But if you're wanting to be a little bit more obvious about it, then you would mirror them, because we often see ourselves in a mirror reflection, but we never actually see ourselves as we are, because when you mirror, you automatically flip it. So just keep that in mind. You can do that in a couple of ways. You can do that physically with the way that they stand and their body language and their posture. You can do it even just being aware of their cadence or the speed by which they communicate. So if they're a fast talker, speak faster. If they're a slow talker, slow it down. If they are the sort of person that talks big picture and ideas, you might also talk big picture and ideas. If they're details, you might talk details. If they connect to something that they're deeply passionate about, the easiest way to connect with people is get them to talk about things that they love. So just ask them more questions about that. It's amazing how much you'll love people that ask you questions about yourself, because our favorite topic in the world is ourselves. And then also as well, even deeper things. You can also mirror things like, for example, breath rate. So if they're breathing deep and slow, breathe deep and slow. If they're fast-paced and they're breathing quite, you might also mirror them in that way as well. Again, it's just, think about it almost like as seasoning. right? It's not the whole dish, but these little things add a bit of flavor to the experience, and it's about building that natural relationship. And what you'll find is, if you're present with people, you'll do it anyway without even thinking about it, but you can also do it deliberately, or what we refer to as with volition, which allows you then to build a deeper relationship with people faster. And the sooner you get to a point where it's like, I feel like we've known each other, well then that normally is a good indication that you're heading in the right direction.